Hey, so I am going to be going on a little skin journey. I was gonna say skincare journey, skin health journey, I guess. And I wanted to take you guys along with me. Mostly, well, no, I wanted to film this, but I'm filming it now because I'm currently incapacitated. I can't do my makeup, which really sucks. So, yeah, I'm not gonna dwell on that. Anyway, basically, if you guys have been following me for a little while, then you know that like skincare is really important to me, but I have never really felt like super confident in my understanding of it. I did have like really bad breakouts for a long time, and I ended up using Curology, which really helped. Like I saw a vast improvement in my skin, especially breakouts in like the areas around my temples, and I mean basically everywhere. If you guys don't know, Curology is this isn't sponsored, I'm just letting you know. Curology is like basically like a subscription type service thing where you get put in touch with a medical provider, and you like send them photos of your skin and what your like concerns are, and then they like tailor make a prescribed treatment for you. So that's what I've been using. And it did really help. But, you know, there are all these people out there that are like these skincare experts like Hiram and Mixed Makeup and like people like that. And I'm watching them and they're talking about vitamin C and niacinamide and all these things. And I'm like, I want to make sure that I'm using all of the things that I should be, that I'm like getting the most out of my skincare. Basically, that led me down a very expensive rabbit hole, I have to say, a very expensive one. And I think I ended up doing just like a little bit more damage to my skin, because if you saw my Instagram story where I talked about this, I am kind of an all-in kind of person where I'm like, I need to do this, I'm gonna do all of it. You know what I mean? So, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate. It's like when you read a direction on a product and it's like, use this amount, and you're like, oh, well, obviously if I use the whole bottle, it's gonna be way better, which is not how it works. So I feel like I should just zoom you in so we can take a look at like what's going on. Sorry about the glasses. They might be a little bit distracting, but I literally couldn't get my contacts in. So now I'm gonna be blind. So this is the current situation with my skin. So today is Tuesday, and last Friday I went and got a facial at the Joanna Vargas salon in West Hollywood. Got an oxygen purifying facial. And she gave me a peel without telling me that she was giving me a peel until it was on my skin. I usually film on Mondays, but that wasn't gonna happen. So that's another thing, I can't really like wear makeup. It's healing very well though. I have some like areas up here that are still healing, some like peeling on my nose, it's still happening. But after that facial, my skin looked, well, I mean, it looked like garbage. What am I talking about? I had a peel, you know? I looked like I was dying. But you can see it looks like very clear. With the exception of like some stuff happening around my temples, which is like kind of my problem area. I'm very oily looking right now because number one, hot lights. Two, since the peel, I've been using the Skin Fix Barrier Cream to just kind of like moisturize and like rebuild my skin. I've been keeping it super basic. I'm not using Curology right now. You're not supposed to use any kind of like retinol or retinoid or whatever, any kind of like exfoliating treatment after a peel, because your skin, you kind of just have to let it like go through the process, apparently. Had to Google that because she didn't tell me. That's cool. And then I'm wearing the Elsa Md Sunscreen, which has been my go-to sunscreen for a while. But I'm looking a little slick. But what she told me during the facial, and the reason that she gave me a peel, was because she said that a lot of my like pores were just very clogged. Now I don't have large pores. And if you guys have followed me for a while, then you know that like my skin looks good for the most part. I often get a lot of, wow, I just like can't actually handle how like oily I look right now. For the most part, like it looks good. And she said that, she was like, your skin looks beautiful from afar. Rude. But then when you get up close, you can see how clogged the pores are. And that's something that I did notice. I had like what I thought were blackheads, I guess, on like the top of my nose. I would have it like around my nose, some like texture or like those kinds of things, I guess, like here. And then up here, I think what it's called is sebaceous filaments. Pretty sure I looked that up when I was watching Dr. Dre, not the rapper, producer, I mean, rapper/producer. producer slash rapper, whatever. Anyway, so this is the current state of my skin, and I really like the way it looks after this peel, after this facial that I got. It was the, did I say this already? Oxygen purifying facial. So she like does extractions and then blasts your face with oxygen, and obviously she did the peel on top of it. And then I'm gonna zoom in a little bit, just because like you've seen it, you know what I mean? She had me do LED light therapy bath type thing, where it looks like one of those tanning beds, and you get in, it's like red and blue LED light therapy, which was terrifying. Never thought that I was claustrophobic until that moment. I got out 5 minutes before it was done because I was panicking. Anyway, I probably ruined the whole thing because of that. So let's see. For those of you who don't know, or for those of you who may be new watching this video, up until this point, I had been a very big fan of Tatcha products. I loved the dewy skin cream. I loved the water cream. Let's see, Silwasu is a Korean brand that I was using a lot of. Tata Harper. Yeah, I kind of didn't trust a lot of other brands because, I don't know, there's like this stupid allure around expensive skincare, you know? I was always so curious about La Mer, which I tried recently and it broke me out. So there you go. My skin has always been more on the oily side, but when I moved to LA and it's such a dry environment, it changed a lot. Like it ended up feeling a lot more dry. And now I don't know if my skin type is oily and it was just dehydrated, but I would get that, like, you wash your face and then get out of the shower and it feels like super tight, which apparently isn't a good thing, which is a thing that I'm learning. So this whole experience is kind of like watching a lot of Hiram videos, buying a shit ton of products that I thought, like, I'm listening to these recommendations from people and I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's something that I care about. Like, that's a product that I need. I try it and then it just like dries out my skin like crazy. One thing in particular recently was this sunscreen by the brand called Misha, which was recommended by Mixed Makeup on her channel for oily skin, I believe. It contains some kind of an alcohol and it smells like alcohol. And when I put it on my skin, it just immediately dried it all up and just irritated the fuck out of it. And I was like, no. So that was a horrible idea. I ended up putting out a kind of a call to you guys on Instagram for recommendations about, like, should I be going to a dermatologist? Should I make appointments with estheticians? Who can I trust? I don't want someone who's just going to sell me a bunch of shit because I already have all of these products. And someone sent me a DM, Caro, C-A-R-O, Caro. I don't know if you're watching this, but she basically was like, they're all different. Some are going to be good. Some are going to be bad. They're all trained differently. You basically kind of have to like go to lots of different people or take each person's advice like with a grain of salt, and just kind of like compare them all together. Basically, she was telling me things that I already knew. You know what I mean? Like, you know it, but you don't want to. I wanted to think that I could just go to one person and have them tell me everything that I need to know. It's not true. You got to do work yourself. So one of the things that I've been doing recently is really paying attention to ingredients in not just my skincare, but also my makeup, because I kind of had this like click when I was like, oh, I do have clogged pores in certain areas. I kind of feel like we're a little too close now. Like you've seen my skin. This might be a little bit controversial because I think that there are a lot of kind of not inconclusive, but varying opinions about certain products. So one of the things that is a really good resource is a website called causedna.com, which is something that I've been using. And they basically break down the ingredients of makeup and skincare products. And they break down the list of the product. Maybe I'll put like a screenshot or something, but the name of the product, what its function is, and then it has like a couple columns where it's like acne, irritant, and then safety level. And then they scale them on like from 1 to 10 to say whether or not it's like safe, whether or not it's like an irritant, 1 to 10. If it's going to irritate acne, 1 to 10. And if the box is empty, it just means that there's inconclusive evidence, or it hasn't been tested, I guess. Another great resource, and I'll link all of these. Oh shit, do I even have it? It was on the Curology website, but it's like their blog, and they do have a list of, they do have a blog where it's like non-comedogenic foundations and like non-pore clogging cream blushes and stuff like that, which is a really good resource as well. So I'll link that, but they had a list of ingredients that are either comedogenic or irritating. typically for like especially acne prone skin. So I use Cause DNA just to kind of like take a look at all of the ingredients. And then if I don't understand an ingredient or if one of the numbers is kind of high, I'll Google that ingredient and just kind of like see. Like, unfortunately, you have to do so much research. Like, you just do. It's like anything else. Like, you can't just go somewhere and have all the answers. So anyway, alcohol is kind of a controversial ingredient. Like different alcohols, it's like cerate alcohol, alcohol something something. They can be drying. Sometimes they're like, it's a solvent. It's supposed to like help certain products absorb. That one I'm still confused about, but I do know that there are products that contain alcohol that have really dried out and irritated my skin. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense. So kind of just putting those two things together, and I'm trying to get rid of those. And then another product that's in a lot of like full coverage foundations, powders, eyeshadows is talc, which I know is another ingredient that's like very controversial because it's apparently, the use of it is very limited in Europe. It's like kind of willy-nilly out here in America as far as its use. I was trying to research it. I'm still a little confused, but from what I found, the consensus is kind of, if you could pick one, is it's a heavier ingredient and it can be irritating to acne-prone skin. So if you have any openings on your skin, like for instance, I just had a peel, so I've got like, you know, spots of my skin that like shouldn't be touched, particularly by any kind of like heavy ingredient. It's going to be irritating. I started like going through kind of all of my makeup products and separating the ones that had, like getting rid of all of the ones that had irritating ingredients, but the ones that were particularly heavy in talc, I separated them and just kind of labeled them. Because if you don't have acne prone skin, if your skin is in good shape, then it's probably not going to irritate it if you're not using it like way too much. But if you do have acne at all, obviously like that's an opening to your skin. You know what I mean? Like that's an irritated, especially if you have like you've popped a pimple or whatever. You do not want to be using talc because it's going to irritate that area further and probably make your acne worse. That's my understanding. I don't know everything. I'm still new to this shit. So that's something that I've been trying to do, is just kind of like understanding what ingredients I should be looking at and what I should kind of just like, it's sort of like the elimination diet, but for my skin right now, where I'm like keeping everything super simple. And I'm going to start like reintroducing things once I get to a point where I'm like pleased, you know? So anyway, I wanted to share with you what I'm using right now. It's very, very basic. Like I said, for my moisturizer and my sunscreen, I'm using, you know, Skin Fix and Elsa Md. I thought the Skin Fix would be really good because it's very, very rich and very moisturizing, and obviously I had a peel, so I felt like I needed to like rebuild, you know? And then I love the Elsa Md sunscreen. It's like always, it's for particularly acne-prone skin, rosacea, and hyperpigmentation. And it's got a lot of really good ingredients, and it doesn't sting my eyes. It smells nice. It's easy to reapply. It doesn't pill on my skin. I mean, obviously, like I'm looking real dewy right now, but like when do I not look dewy? You know what I mean? Anyway, so I've been loving this. I've been reapplying it you're supposed to reapply it every 2 hours, and especially after the peel, I've been like legit doing that because I gotta protect. Something that I have learned from everybody is that if you threw everything else away and you just had a really good sunscreen, you're all set. So I'm trying to take my sun care more seriously as well. To remove my sunscreen at the end of the day, once the sun has gone down, I use the Good Molecules Instant Cleansing Balm. I haven't even like looked this one up yet though. So I need to kind of like look into the ingredients a little bit more, but this is what I've always used. It just breaks down makeup, like waterproof makeup really, really well. So I'm hoping that everything is good. I love Good Molecules, and I feel like my skin has always reacted to them really well. So I'm hoping I'll keep you posted on that. And then for my cleanser, I'm just using the CeraVe Hydrating Facial Cleanser. Mostly because my skin was feeling very dehydrated whenever I got out of the shower after I cleansed, especially when I was using a foaming cleanser. So yeah, I don't know. This is what I'm using right now just because it seems very basic. I also have the foaming one, but this one seems to be doing the job, especially since I haven't been wearing makeup. So all I really have to worry about right now is removing sunscreen. So that combo has been pretty good, I think. Yeah, so basically I received a recommendation from someone who I'm not going to name just because I don't have like clearance, whether or not I can share, but I received a recommendation to go see someone about my skin. So I think I'm going to do that, and I'm going to get like basically they do like hour-long one-on-one facials and consultation type things with I think it's like a follow-up, a follow-up like a week later or something. And that's exactly what I want. I want to be able to talk to somebody, understand my skin a little bit better. I want them to tell me what I should and should not be using, because I was like, I want to use vitamin C and I want to be using a niacinamide serum. And then I'm like, why are all these things pilling? And I'm using squalene oil and rosehip oil. And then when I went and got this oxygen facial, she was like, are you using oil? I said, okay. I was like, yeah, sometimes. And she was like, okay, chill on the oil. And I'm like, yeah, but I thought that oil was supposed to be good for, you know, oily skin or whatever. Unfortunately, the woman that I went to is a little bit, she's not so, if you watched my Instagram story, she's not so like, here's the science and explanation behind this ingredient. And this is what she's like, you need to scrub your face. You need to scrub more. You need more whatever. And there just isn't that like communication, which is why I'm still looking for somebody. But I have high hopes because the person that I am going to be making an appointment with has good reviews from a very trusted source. So anyway, I just wanted to, I know this was just like basically a rant that I haven't really done on this channel before, but I really just wanted to kind of let you know that I think skincare is such a personal thing, and I love makeup so much, but I really want my skincare to be on point. I don't want to feel like I have to put makeup on during the day. I'm very comfortable in my naked face, and I would actually prefer to, you know, have all of this just be looking good so that I can go out and like not worry about it and apply my sunscreen and wear sunglasses and whatever. And then at night when I want to, like, not that I'm not going to wear like makeup during the day, but you know what I mean. That's when I want to like go in with the glam. That's kind of like what I want my life to be. Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's just the older I get. Clear skin, like very, very clear skin, making sure that I'm taking care of it the best that I possibly can has become very, very important to me, especially with like anti-aging and just all those things. So I kind of just wanted to share that experience with you because I'm sure that that's something that like a lot of people have gone through, and I feel like we're in the same boat. Like, yes, I get sent a bunch of skincare products, but that doesn't mean that my like skin is perfect or I know exactly what I'm doing. I obviously don't, because I'm at this point, you know? And I get so many emails like explaining like why certain products are great, blah, 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 whatever. But then it's just like, well, of course, because you're trying to sell it, you know? Not saying that they're bad, but then there's other products that like I get sent, but I'm like, oh, I don't know if I trust this because like I haven't used, I don't know, this seems too basic or something, you know what I mean? Anyway. It's a process. I'm learning that like everyone's skin really is very, very personal. I've spent a lot of money on skincare. It's probably the thing that I've spent the most money on. And it kind of sucks looking at all of these products, like just in the last month that I have, that I'm like, that money could have just gone towards like an appointment with someone who could like really assess my face and tell me exactly what I should be doing. So if you are in this situation right now, I would highly recommend that you know, ask around or research, you know, dermatologists, especially if you have acne and you need things that are like, need to be medically prescribed, but also just an esthetician who can like upkeep, you know? A lot of them do work for like certain salons and they're always like, buy this, buy this, buy this. So unfortunately it's trial and error, you know? And that's kind of in the boat where I am right now. So I kind of wanted to just like record this and have this as evidence. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of keep you updated on like what I find. I feel like I've said that a million times. I'm never going to end this video. And hopefully just hopefully I can get some of your opinions and then hopefully help you if you feel like you're in the same boat. I don't know, that's all I got, I guess. That's all I got. I'm really excited to recover fully from this because like, goddamn, man. Surely did a lot. And not to be a dick, but I would really appreciate it if people wouldn't just start recommending products to me, because I see that a lot and like, I'm not buying anything else until I speak to a professional and like show her all the shit that I already have. But I would really welcome you like sharing your experience and like what your skin type is and what your skincare journey has sort of been, I guess. So anyway, I'm thinking that the next video will be an update after I have my appointment with this person. I'll share with you guys like what I've learned and kind of, or maybe in like a week before, like the week leading up to the appointment, I'll keep you posted on like what I've been doing in the state of my skin before the appointment. We'll see. This isn't going to be a vlog. It's just basically going to be me sitting down and doing this kind of shit. Because can you imagine me vlogging? Like I can't. But yeah, anyway, so long ramble. Skin can be deceiving. Please send good vibes. Like, what is this? I need my right hand. Because I got the, what's it called? Shit, it's right here. Beautopsy Hindash. I got the palette. I need this if I'm gonna do this, you know? All right, guys, I gotta go. My armpits are sweaty.